Hi, Paul Hagen with MaxAir Trampolines. We're going to be doing this open-ended trampoline. We're going to show you how to lace this stuff up, so once you get it at your place. Now, what I did is, I ended up getting too fat of a carabiner here. I'd just take that carabiner and I'd hook it right in here, but because I got too big of one, we're going to put a little spring extender on there. This does not come with your unit. You can pick them up at any hardware store depending on what your wiggle wire situation is. So what I'm going to do is feed my bungee through here. But I'm going to get started here by first lacing the bungee. So I'm going to take the bungee, tie off one end here to make sure it's secure. Then I'm going to just run this back and forth as we go along here. And we've got 40 feet of bungee. So well, we've been having a problem with people over tightening as they go. And we don't want to over tighten this because then the bungees start breaking in the first couple of weeks and we want it to last years. So I'm just taking this. Through here and just keep it nice and neat and don't have a mangled mess. This is, right here we're going to just start taking up slack. And what I usually do is just try and pull the slack out as I go. Get it so I can bring this in here and just loosen up. So I gotta find my tight one. Loosen stuff up here. Kind of stretching stuff back and forth here. Tight bungee. So once I think I have it, and we can adjust it as we go, I'm going to tie this off here. I'm going to check this and go, wait a minute. Yeah, see, that's a pretty good distance right there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I've got a couple of these that are super tight. We're going to take and kind of even up the pressure on all these by loosening up some of the slack. Here, and this we're working back and forth, and just make sure that they're all equal, about the same torque or stretch on each one of these. And let's see here, it's easy to, there we go. Now, one of these is really tight, so when I go down here I want it to get close to the bottom. I'm a 200-pound male. And I want it down, but I don't want to have it hit the ground, because what's going to happen is from here to here is where most of the stretching is going to be. The center, we're going to have it all laced up. So once I know I've got pretty good tightness on here, it's got a decent bounce to it. If I do it too tight, you'll feel the bungees. When you go down here, they'll be all the way stretched as tight as they go. And that's when you're going to start having stuff break. Okay? So next thing, we're going to put this bed up, and I'm just going to take just one spring for right now while we're doing the lacing. And I hook the springs on here. Tug. So now I'm going to end up doing the lacing on this thing. We're not going to lace this all the way up. Let me grab my string, actually. I'll get it over here. And we're going to start, find me an end of the string here. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do, start in here. I'm going to tie this. Now I got a little bit more slack right here than I need. So we're going to get a pair of scissors and cut this right now. All right, I'm tying this off. I wrapped it around the bungee a couple of times. Got this tied off. Now I'm going to take this bungee and pull it towards that D-ring. And I'm going to wrap that D-ring nice and neat. I'm going to go right around this. And right now I'm just kind of doing it loosely. I'll pull everything in tight. And there's going to be some readjusting as you're going. You're going to be sucking in the extra slack. So I just want to get it like 4 or 5 times around this D-ring, and that's going to get pulled right tight to the bungee. All right, so then we're going to take up all this slack here, kind of make it nice and neat and pull it in nice and tight. Kind of crossing over here. All right, I'll go one more time. So if you look in close here, I've got that nice neatly wrapped right there. Now what we're going to do is tie it, go around and through that. You want to kind of keep this taut as you're going, but you're going to go through here. So I got to around that bungee. And then I want to keep going the same way. So I've laced this one, and this will end up being backed off like that. So I went around, I'm going around the bungee, go through the next hole here, around the bungee. Now when you're doing this, I cut this rope a little shorter for easy to work with. And actually, you got to watch, I ended up going through and right over, and that's not how I want to do this. So I'm going to take this out a little bit. Oh, there we go. And this goes around the bungee every time, through the hole, spread that a little bit open. So I'm putting it through the hole, underneath the bungee, over the top. So we're going through this hole, underneath the bungee, and back around. And we're just lacing it up here. We'll get this nice and neat. So like I said, this is a little shorter rope. You follow this all the way to the end, and you'll see that each one of these, if you look, they'll be nice and tight to each one of these. And then when we pull the bed back, I'm going to do like 3 or 4, and we'll hang the rest of the bed, and you'll get a good idea of exactly how we're doing it. The big thing again is don't over tighten this bungee, but don't have it too loose. So try and get it down near the floor area, so about a foot off the floor, 12 inches, about that far from hitting the end. You don't want it to ever end up hitting the floor, right? So we're just going through here and around, all right? So we're going to do that all the way to the very end down here, okay? Then what I would do, I'm going to take more springs and put them on these O-rings or D-rings at the end. So basically I have like 3 springs there. Give it some extra pull on that. Grab this, pull that in there. We're not using corner springs. Corner springs we would use at the other end, but for this demonstration, or for anything, don't use a corner spring from the bungee. This is the regular side spring. That's what you want. Okay, so we've got this tightened in here, right? The bungee's in tight. You've got your springs hooked on, 3 springs into this set. Now we're going to hook the whole trampoline up, and that is how you do this. You don't want to have it too tight because we have to have some stretch here. So when this trampoline goes down, the bungee doesn't break. Okay? And that's how that's done.